Do 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 do. Whoa, what's going on? I don't know. My God, it's intense. Oh look, there's Mr. Stick in the Mud Benway. Just kidding, Stevie. Don't get me wrong, you're one cool cat. You may wonder why I sound like this. Well, duh. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I'm winning. Like me, you obviously have the Sheen experience going on. You're such a winning kind of guy. You've obviously been taking your daily supplements of tiger's blood. Obviously, you've been anointed by Adonis himself, which makes you winning, my friend. Okay, so there's enough of my very bad Charlie Sheen impression. And what this is really about, I'm just in a silly mood having some fun. Steve, how's it going? Love your Friday Talkie as always. I actually had a few things on my mind that I was thinking of doing a video about, but then I was kind of like, nah, I don't feel like it. Then I saw your Friday Talkie, and it kind of encouraged me to go ahead and make this video anyway, which is just kind of a mishmash. It's just some ideas that I had, and I thought, well, since you kind of touched on one of the subjects that I was going to post about, I've decided to go ahead and just do that. Regarding E3, a few things. First of all, you know, obviously there's a lot of excitement in the air, a lot of, you know, wonder and hope is in the air with the announcement of the new systems. But I'm focusing on actually the Wii U because, well, I mean the new PSP Vital or Vital or whatever it is. You know, it's another PSP. I'm sure it'll be amazing. I'm sure they'll keep the, they seem to want to keep the price at a reasonable level this time, which is something new for Sony. But also at the same time, I hear another I always have trouble with that word, proprietary format for games and storage. Not happy about that. You know, I was so annoyed and pissed with the whole UMD, or what are they here? Sorry, I don't mean the UMD. Well, yeah, the UMD storage format for games and video, and then for the memory cards, you know, you had your memory stick duo Pro. You know, these tiny little guys, which weren't even as big as the regular, already, you know, dedicated type of memory stick. The other Sony, their regular memory stick dual adapter. You know, if you already had some of those, then you had to get an adapter for your PSP sized cards to make it a full-size memory stick from Sony, and I hated the whole format, quite frankly. You know, they couldn't do SD, and I know they're trying to combat piracy. You know, you always hear that as the excuse. You know, why did they decide to go with this crappy storage format? Oh, to combat piracy, and oh, that always works out so well, doesn't it? You know, the inconvenience that you put us through, making us use a crappy format instead of a standard like a SD card. You know, good old standard SD card. You don't want it. Oh well. Oops, sorry. Here I am, still holding up the wrong one. A good old standard SD card like that right there. You know, you can't go with formats like that. No, you have to make it a dedicated proprietary format. You know, and it pisses me off. So, whatever. Now I hear Sony's doing it on their next console once again. It's very annoying, and I wouldn't mind so much if they achieved their goals, if they achieved, you know, the reason behind using these crappy storage formats, but they never do. They get hacked anyways. It gets broken anyways. and it's the same old crap over and over. Sony whining about losing money instead of talking about the billions that they make, right? Anyways, whole new thing right there. So my other train of thought here, yeah, the Wii U. Much like you, Steve, not too much interest in it, and but my reason is, you know, I grew up with Nintendo. I grew up on the 8-bit Nintendo. I know that wasn't the case so much for you, Steve, but I really did like the original 8 and 16-bit Nintendo consoles. But much like you touched on with the motion controls in the original Wii, yeah, maybe chalk it up to also just being an old fuddy-duddy, stick in the mud, if you will. But I myself too, when I first saw, back when the Wii first hit the scene, motion controls, you're in the game, blah blah blah. As soon as I saw, I'm like, oh God, same thing. I don't want to be in the game. I just want to play the game. You know, why does this have to be so complicated? And don't get me wrong, Steve or anyone watching. I get it. Okay, I get it. I'm not that far. I'm not. You know, my feet aren't in the grave already. I get the point. You know, and the point is, Sony saw a market there, and it's funny too because. You know, Nintendo fanboys or, you know, whoever, you know, defends the Nintendo platform with fierceness, I get the whole thing, and I'm the first one to say, you know, when people say things like, oh, you know, the graphics weren't as powerful as the 360 or the PS3, and the games don't appeal to the hardcore gamer. I mean, I'm not a hardcore gamer, but it didn't appeal to me either, right? But I get it, you know. They want the moms, they want the kids, they want the 12-year-old girls playing, you know, fashion games and things like that. It was a huge untapped market that Nintendo knew that they were tapping into and knew that was there. So while Sony and Microsoft laughed and went on about, you know, how they're not for serious gamers, etc., etc., they ended up selling like massive amounts and outsold the 360, outsold the PS3. So who's having the last laugh? Nintendo knows what they're doing, but there's no, you know, any Nintendo fan who believes that Nintendo gives people what they want. Well, it's true to an extent, right? It's they're not there to appease all the Nintendo fanboys. You know, some people they throw around ideas like, you know, Nintendo cares about the gamer. They make the games for gamers. They don't do it for the money. Bull, okay? Nintendo is just like Sony. They're just like Microsoft. They're just like any other business. They're in it for one reason and one reason only, to make money. If you think there's anything else behind it, you're kidding yourself. So let's just forget that, okay? So anyways, my point being, looking at what I've seen of the Wii U, as they're so far calling it apparently, I was quite impressed by the tech itself, by the idea. You know, I saw the demos and the previews, and I saw, you know, holding the controller with the screen and chucking the ninja stars, and you know, playing golf. You had the golf on the actual screen. You put it down on the floor. You know, pretend you hit it. I actually really liked the guy who was drawing Zelda, and then it transmitted to the screen, so it also seemed to be some form of art or touch tablet, like kind of a, what do you call that? Those like drawing tablets, basically. So, I mean, I love all that. I think that's really cool. But I see it the same way as the original Wii. You know, this whole thing about bringing you into the game, making you a part of the interactive experience. Yeah, that's cool. Definitely, I think it's cool. And we know it's cool because even though, you know, Sony and Microsoft at first said, oh, you know, that's nothing, that's, who cares about that. Next thing you know, Microsoft's coming out with Kinect, and Sony's coming out with Move, and, you know, they're claiming like it's the greatest thing ever, and that you have to have it, and it puts you in the game, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, no, we came up with that ourselves. This is our idea, and it's going to revolutionize gaming. Oh, Nintendo, no, that's just a toy. Oh, no, we didn't get any ideas from them. No. You know, it's like, give me a freaking break, okay? As soon as they saw they were taking off, they wanted a piece of the pie, of course, and I don't blame them, because once again, they are a business, okay? So yeah, I did like, so far I liked the concept and the idea of the hardware Nintendo seems to be bringing to the table for the next round. But again, the thing is, as I found with the Wii, yeah, I did experience the Wii. I went over to, this doesn't sound right to me. I went over to, you know, I'd go to friends and families, and they have, you know, 2, 3, 4 people playing, and yeah, it's fun. You get into it. I was playing these silly games. I can't even remember. Of course, Wii Sports. You know, anything where 4 of you are playing at once. It was a lot of fun, I admit. But I couldn't see myself doing that on a regular basis. For one thing, unless you have to, like, it's me and my wife, who's really not interested in video games to the extent of maybe some casual computer games. So she's not interested in that. We don't have kids. That's the big factor there. So, you know, and I grew up on Nintendo and playing Zelda and this solitary, you and the game and the adventure, you know, one-on-one. So I'm not really interested in the multiplayer experience, the online experience, and it just so happens that we rarely encounter a situation where there's more than me and my wife here at home, and she has no interest in playing those games. So it's me playing the games. I'm playing the games by myself, and so, you know, I don't want to sit, you know, I don't want to sit there all day doing this and you know, whatever, you know. It's not, it's like you, Steve, I just want to flop down on the couch, pick up a controller, and play and enjoy. And I also like a PS3 controller type of game, or even on my computer, you know, I'm using a good old 360 controller. It's great. Me one-on-one. This is the extent. This is the extent of my movement and my exercise. You know, I'm not going to wear myself out doing this. And that's the other thing too with the whole, you know, I'm not into dance games. I'm not rhythm games. Look at me. I'm not I'm not into that kind of stuff. I have no interest in it. So again, do I want to be in the game? Not so much. I just want to sit back, maybe have a beer or pop or whatever the case may be, you know, some snack foods, and just play the game like this. Play the game. You know, I don't want to work to play the game. I don't want to jump up and down or run on the spot or anything like that. I don't want to do any of those things. So I guess, Steve, if you're a stick in the mud and an old fuddy-duddy, I guess I am too. Never claimed to be anything else, right? So anyways, so that's that. That's my opinion on you know, some of the things going on with the next Nintendo system and E3, and you know, and everybody and their brother and sister are now posting the same E3 trailers all over the place, which, you know, it just, to me, like, you don't, okay, not that I'm licensed to do so or anything like that, but you're not going to see me posting any E3 trailers. Or I do on my Facebook group, my Facebook gaming group, I do post trailers there, but I don't post them on my YouTube channel. I have no interest in posting them on my YouTube channel. I like to do original content that I've created, and everyone else is posting them. So what do I need to go and post E3 trailers for? It's just, you know, and I think it's just, for some people, it's just a quick trying to cash in on the excitement and buzz of E3, so they're trying to get people to consider their channel or look at their channel because they've, you know, posted the new whatever exciting E3 demo or whatever, and I think it's kind of cheesy personally, but that's me. So yeah, what else? What else? This, well, there's this JVC XI